Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. Kuwait has accidentally shot down 3 American F-15s. It's now confirmed that all 6 crew members on board safely ejected and have been recovered. They're in stable condition. Right now, however, the incident being described as a friendly fire incident, the Pentagon does say that an investigation is underway. All of this comes as at least 4 U.S. soldiers were killed in Afghanistan following retaliatory attacks from Iran. The Army unit affected overseas supplies and logistics. And earlier this morning, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Dan Kane addressed the current mission and the losses.
Turns out the regime who chanted death to America and death to Israel was gifted death from America and death from Israel. This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change, and the world is better off for it. Today, in their desperation, the enemy is unmasked as Iranian missiles and drones rain down indiscriminately on the hotels, airports, apartments, and other civilian targets of their neighbors. Cowardly terrorist tactics from a regime that for decades has trafficked in cowardly terrorist tactics. Lies, death, and destruction to this day.
Florida Congressman Byron Donalds also addressing the conflict with Iran while campaigning for governor in Florida earlier today. Our Javier Negre asked the representative about the war.
2 questions for Real America's Voice. What do you think about the Hispanic media outlets that are scaring the population of Miami with fake news about ICE operation? And the second question, Spain leftist Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has just banned the United States from using Spanish bases to launch strikes against Iran. Will you agree with revoking visas for Spanish officials?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, they got to decide whose side they're going to be on with us. So if they're going to revoke our access, then why would we give them access? That's only fair. I think to your first question, I think people who are trying to demonize what the president is doing with ICE and everything else, the president is actually doing a lot of what former President Obama was doing when it comes to deporting criminal illegal aliens and other illegal aliens in the United States. We have to have a standard for immigration and naturalization. If we have no standard, we have no country. If we don't have enforcement, we're going to have what happened under the Biden era, where everybody's frustrated, everybody's upset, and then actually you have criminals who come into your country who victimize our people, and that is unacceptable. So there is going to be a standard going forward, and I would tell you, look at polling. The American people still support the president's plans, not just on border security, but on deporting criminal illegal aliens, and we're going to stay consistent on that.
As the country inches closer to celebrating the 250th year of our founding, artifacts from the early days of the country are being boarded onto a plane and taken from coast to coast for the entire country to see. You can see it happening here. These rare artifacts are pieces that are part of the Freedom Plane National Tour, and it documents that forged a nation exhibit. As RAV correspondent David Zier tells us, the 9 founding-era documents will be on display in 8 cities across the country's semi-quincentennial.
We're taking 9 original, incredible, historic founding documents from the National Archives across the United States to many cities.
And what's amazing is these are original documents. Tell us about some of them that'll be on board here.
They're all original. They date between 1774 and 1791. And there's one, it's an original stone engraving of the Declaration of Independence that dates from 1823. There's less than 50 of them that are known to exist. So the fact that one of them is traveling is extraordinary. My favorite is the Treaty of Paris.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, the Treaty of Paris of 1783. Cool. It's incredible. I mean, no one ever gets to see this.
It's the actual treaty?
It is the actual treaty signed by Benjamin Franklin and John Jay and John Adams.
Now, the other countries in Europe sided against Britain and joined forces with us, like I think
France.
The Dutch, France. Yep. So that separated or defined the borders of Canada from America, right?
It did, and many people don't know that. I mean, the American Revolution, in a sense, was a series of grievances that were built up, but they started with the French and Indian War, and these cities were chosen because they have the mass media market.
That was David Zier reporting on the ground as the Freedom Plane National Tour embarks on its first leg. Appreciate you being here with us.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today. To the factories, from small towns to city streets. This is the fight for the soul of our nation.
We're watching Democrats attack democracy. Do not be fooled.
The strength, the grit, the greatness of the American spirit, all right here.
The left wanted power, not peace, but there's a resistance rising. A generation saying enough, enough. We've tried it their way, and it failed.
The Steve Gruber Show with your host, Steve Gruber, starts right now.
All right, and welcome to as we get rolling into another big day here as we cover the war in Iran and so much more. Here are three big things you need to know that we're fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom. Number one, the videos on both Bill and Hillary Clinton testifying under oath about Jeffrey Epstein have been released. And it seems Hillary has anger management issues. Yeah, there's a whip crack for you. Number two, the far left has hijacked the Democrat Party some time ago, is ready to take another step toward redistribution of wealth. Bernie and Ro Khanna introducing another billionaire tax to give money to their voters, of course. And number three, here we go. Democrats are once again attacking President Trump for doing something they've promised to do for years and have failed to follow through on. Frankly, I'm sick of it. Left-wing politicians and commentators are ignoring almost half a century of history when they claim that Iran is not a threat to the United States and that Donald Trump is acting like a dictator by doing something about the threat, destroying it. It's revisionist history to pretend that the Democrat Party has not waxed eloquently about doing exactly what Trump finally did. They just waxed without any results. Let's take a walk down memory lane, shall we? In 2008, this was Hillary Clinton's position as she campaigned to be the president of the United States. Here she is.
And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic.
Totally obliterate them. Barack Obama said the same thing in 2012 during a debate with Mitt Romney before that presidential election. Listen to this.
The reason we did this is because a nuclear Iran is a threat to our national security, and it's a threat to Israel's national security. We cannot afford to have a nuclear arms race in the most volatile region of the world. Iran's a state sponsor of terrorism, and for them to be able to provide nuclear technology to non-state actors, that's unacceptable. And they have said that they want to see Israel wiped off the map. So the work that we've done with respect to sanctions now offers Iran a choice. They can take the diplomatic route and end their nuclear program, or they will have to face a united world and a United States president, me, who said we're not going to take any options off the table.
And after Obama won that race, his then Vice President Joe Biden reiterated the exact same position. Nothing is off the table. Here's Biden.
So we have a shared strategic commitment. Let me make clear what that commitment is. It is to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon, period. period. End of discussion, period. Prevent, not contain, prevent. We are not looking for war. We are looking to and ready to negotiate peacefully. But all options, including military force, are on the table.
So Obama and Biden reiterated time and time again, the United States has always had a consistent stance toward Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons. Here's more.
Among U.S. policymakers, there's never been disagreement on the danger posed by an Iranian nuclear bomb. Democrats and Republicans alike have recognized that it would spark an arms race in the world's most unstable region and turn every crisis into a potential nuclear showdown.
Yeah. It was a lot of tough talk, a lot of posturing, a lot of puffing up, a lot of bark, but absolutely no bite. Because what did Obama actually do? He handed the Iranians, the mullahs, and the Ayatollah $1.7 billion in cash, American cash. He orchestrated a nuclear deal that everyone at the time recognized as weak and ineffective. Even Democrats criticized it as not going far enough. Here's another reminder of that.
The point at which they started with is not where they ended. Sanctions lifted. Inspections, the U.S. wanted anytime, anywhere. They didn't get those.
The administration set standards like inspections anytime, anywhere. And what we know about this deal says that that's not going to happen.
That is really the core thing. If you don't have anytime, anywhere, what do you really have?
If you don't have access anywhere, anytime in Iran, then enforcement becomes something really that's impossible to do.
We were told that this is anytime, anywhere. When you really read the language, as I understand it, it's not anytime, anywhere.
Well, Iran is unquestionably the big winner. Look at where the fireworks are going off.
Billions and billions will flood into Iran, legitimizing them and making them a bigger terror tool.
It's amazing to me that we included the arms embargo and the missile technology question as part of this deal.
Even Ash Carter, the president's defense secretary, has said that he has huge concerns allowing the arms embargo to be lifted.
The prospect of weapons going in is not a happy prospect.
You know, I could play you 100 more sound bites just like those, saying the exact same thing. You get the idea. And let's not forget how that deal unraveled like a cheap sweater. Iran kept enriching uranium, sponsoring proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas, and laughing all the way to the bank to cash our checks. Or wait, it was cash to begin with. They didn't even need to cash the check. Remember the pallets of money flowing in under the cover of darkness? Obama called it diplomacy, but it was a giveaway to Iranian terrorists. Fast forward, and then Joe Biden unfroze billions more, claiming it was humanitarian aid. Yeah, okay, like funding missiles as charity. Meanwhile, Iran's centrifuges spun faster. Their chance of death to America got louder, and our allies in the Middle East begged for real action. Trump saw through the charade. No more appeasement, no more weakness. He pulled the plug on that joke of a deal in 2018, restoring sanctions that actually bit. But now, with Operation Epic Fury delivering results, the left acts shocked. Give me a break. National security analysts, military advisors, historians, everyone has always agreed that Iran is a threat, not to the region, but to the world, one that cannot be allowed to fester. But now that someone has actually done something about it, the same talking heads are clutching their pearls. Compare Obama's and Trump's response to the threat of Iran. Listen.
And with the world's unprecedented inspections and access to Iran's program, we'll know if Iran ever tries to break out. Now that Iran's actions have been verified, it can begin to receive relief from certain nuclear sanctions and gain access to its own money that had been frozen. And perhaps most important of all, we've achieved this historic progress through diplomacy.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated.
Obliterated. I have an even better comparison. after the break. Good morning. It's the Steve Gruber Show.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shop. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Every dollar you give is being matched up to $50,000. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
I'm Andy M., and I love Real America's Voice, where my voice counts and your voice counts. That is America's Voice.
Flashosaurus in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with a family I love.
I'm Andy M., and I love Real America's Voice, where my voice counts and your voice counts. That is America's Voice.
Let's just jump right back into it now. We need a better comparison, do you? Okay, how about Joe Biden gave Iran $6 billion in assets? $6 billion. His Vice President Kamala Harris would have been even more generous, I'm sure. But Trump doesn't let our enemies take advantage of us, that's for sure. Like this.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't. Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
Yeah, quite a different message, isn't it? Democrats might not like it, but hey, it's promises made and promises kept at the very least. And while liberals here and abroad want to act like Trump is a rogue agent acting contrary to the interests of the rest of the world, the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, is here to put the record straight. Listen.
A first of all say that my thoughts are with the service members, the U.S. service members who made the ultimate sacrifice over the last couple of days. And let me also say that the commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world, President Donald J. Trump, I really commend what is happening here. Taking out Khamenei, taking out the nuclear capability in Iran, but also taking out the ballistic missile program in Iran. This is crucial. And what I see in Europe, I spoke with all the key European leaders over the weekend, is widespread support for what the president is doing, and also making sure that when it comes to logistics, access, defending key U.S. interests in Europe and in the region, the Europeans are really stepping up.
And in case you missed it, the UK denied access to the American military from bases in the UK, like Diego Garcia. Spain still holding out, saying we will not help you. But there you have it from Mark Rutte. Widespread support. But if you scroll through the Twitter feeds of liberals or watch MSNBC, you'd believe that no one supports Operation Epic Fury. That's why it's important you don't listen to the people who consistently get every other issue wrong. Flat out wrong. Democrats want to gripe and complain about the constitutionality of Trump using our weaponry on enemies, but don't forget they tripped over themselves running so fast to attend every photo shoot they could with Zelensky, signing bombs for someone who's not even our ally to use against their enemy however they saw fit. Spare me the moral outrage, please. Ukraine and Russia have been locked in a deadly, costly war for more than 4 years, and these same people want to keep shipping bombs over there while they oppose a precise strategic strike that 49 of the worst leaders of the terrorist regime in one weekend were wiped out. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is shutting down any talk of our strikes against Iran being the start of a forever war. Says it won't happen. Here he is.
To the media outlets and political left screaming endless wars, stop. This is not Iraq. This is not endless. I was there for both. Our generation knows better, and so does this president. He called the last 20 years of nation-building wars dumb, and he's right. This is the opposite. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes, all on our terms, with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives.
Of course, I hope and I pray that he's right. And I trust this administration more so than the previous ones, that they will strive toward those goals of stabilizing the Middle East. Another thing that really struck me was just how grateful the rest of the world really is. While our own representatives demonized the operation, a fighter pilot mistakenly shot down over Kuwait, 3 jets in fact, and when she washed up on the shore of Kuwait, she was greeted by a Kuwaiti man who is much more gracious to her than her own politicians at home. If you missed it, here it is.
You're fine? Really? You need something to help you? No problem, you're safe. You're safe, you're safe. Everything good? No problem. Thank you for helping us. Everything perfect?
American women warriors in the battlefield too. More of this. Less of the fake hand-wringing from the left. And while Democrats play pretend outrage and rewrite history to bash Trump for delivering on their empty, the world breathes a bit easier. Spare me the hypocrisy. Trump's bold strike crippled a terrorist regime without endless war. Promises made, promises kept, at least so far. It's time to move forward, stronger and safer. That's what we're hoping for. And meanwhile, Donald Trump tells CNN the biggest wave is yet to come. The biggest wave is yet to come. We'll see what that means. They've sunk 11 warships, 10 ships, and 1 submarine. And here at home, Chinese state-run media is promoting the anti-Iran war protests, by the way. It's all being funded by, write this name down if you don't have it already, Neville Roy Singham. Made his fortune in America and then went to communist China to fund the undermining of America and American principles. Singham is his last name. You've seen these protests. They are not organic. Vans roll in, the signs are all printed, the people are paid, and out they go to protest. Okay, well, I stand with this administration, and I stand with the people of Iran, and I'm hoping for the very best. We'll have to see what happens. And that's the monologue. A new year doesn't need extreme diets or complicated routines. It needs consistency. Longevity Wellness helps you build that habit with one clean, all-in-one nutritional shake that supports strength, focus, digestion, and immune health. It's smart nutrition you can actually stick with. Start strong today. Go to longevitywellness.co and use promo code Gruber for a special listener discount. That's Gruber at longevitywellness.co. You're going to like this product a lot. And while you're at it and you're on the computer, go ahead and stop by YouTube and follow us on YouTube. You can get a new episode of Forgotten America, Private Equity. Private equity, pushing the bounds of morality and sometimes making the free market look bad, really bad. You're going to like this, Tiffany Cianci. Oh, it's a remarkable conversation. You want to go to YouTube, become a follower, hit the like button, subscriber maybe is a better word. Follow us, be part of the conversation. YouTube, Steve Gruber. I'll be right back.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light.
Well, if you didn't see them, the videos were released of both Bill and Hillary Clinton testifying on the Epstein matter, right? And those tapes are now floating on. Hillary Clinton seems to have some anger management issues, seems to me. Here's an example.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, but since there was no follow-up question, the president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. That's the truth. As I said earlier, the only conversation I had with President Trump about this was in the early 2000s. And I have no information that he did anything wrong. I just want it all out there. I want everybody to get it all out there and let everybody see where we are.
I don't think he really means that. There were some really awkward moments with the former president. But he did just, in those comments, once again exonerate President Trump. I have no idea. He didn't say anything. It would lead me to believe that he ever did anything wrong or was aware of it. That's what he was saying there, the former president. Some really awkward moments and some angry moments from Hillary Clinton. We'll get to that next chance we get here. We've got a busy day, though. You can find those posts in my feed on social media. So go ahead and look that up as well. You can find those comments if you missed it. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on in Iran with Ali Safavi, a member of Iran's parliament in exile. Who's running Iran today? We're going to get some insight from Iranians, what they're seeing, what they're thinking, and what they're praying for, as we're in day 4 now of Operation Epic Fury in the Middle East. This is the Steve Gruber Show. Again, remember to follow us on all those social media platforms. Follow us on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. I'll be right back.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer. In the moments I'm afraid, there's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky. When I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience anytime. So just go to angel.com/Rav and join there.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Well, my next guest has firsthand experience with how brutal the regime in Tehran has been for 47 years. His brother was executed by the regime back in 1981 for his opposition to their oppressive behavior. Ali Safavi is a member of Iran's parliament in exile, the National Council of Resistance in Iran. He joins me now. Ali, good to see you this morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm well. We spoke here a couple of days ago. I've been trying to keep up with what's going on, but the information is spotty coming out of Iran. Internet service gets blocked routinely. I don't know what the situation is now, but 4 days on now, give me your assessment of where we stand with Operation Epic Fury.
Yeah, well, the fact is that naturally on the ground, given the scale of the bombings, people are careful not to come out because you never know where the bomb is going to drop, and then there will be perhaps collateral damage. And in fact, when the American campaign began, Mrs. Rajavi, the president-elect of the National Council of Resistance, sent a message to the Iranian people and told them to be careful. She also called on especially the younger generation to take care of the older ones and people who might get injured and care for them. She also called on the parties involved to exercise restraint in terms of damaging infrastructure and civilian areas. But when it comes to the organized resistance, the resistance units of the MEK, based upon reports that we have been receiving, they are of course quite active. In the past several days, a few of the regime's centers, IRGC bases, have been attacked by the resistance units. They have been disarmed and all the weapons have been taken away. Last night in the city of Qom, which is south of Tehran, a religious city, the headquarters of one of the Friday prayer leaders was targeted by resistance units, and they basically overran it and took away all the weapons. Also, there have been some attacks on Basij centers, the paramilitary goons, who I'm sure you have seen the videos of how brutal they are, and they have torched them with Molotov cocktails. So it seems that now with Khamenei gone, the resistance is beginning to step up its activities. In fact, the day when it was announced that Khamenei was killed, Mrs. Rajavi basically said that the era of religious fascism is over and it is now time to work toward establishing freedom and democracy in Iran. The NCRI also announced the formation of a provisional government based upon Mrs. Rajavi's 10-point plan, which basically calls for holding free and fair elections within 6 months of the toppling of the regime to elect a constituent assembly that will draft the future constitution of the republic. So that's where we are right now. It's a very, very fluid situation. And naturally, as you said, because of the internet being down, it's very difficult to get news. But our network within Iran is quite active, just as they were last week on Saturday, on Monday, where 250 of them in a coordinated assault targeted Khamenei's compound. This is a week before the U.S. hit it. And unfortunately, they lost about 100, and some were arrested, but 150 of them managed to withdraw safely. And that goes to show how well organized the resistance is, that under such pervasive repression, they can coordinate 250 to go and attack the most secured location in all of Iran, undetected.
When we spoke here a couple of days ago, you said that back, I think, in 2009, the so-called Supreme Leader had decentralized the IRGC to the 31 provinces. So they had headquarters in each one of the 31 provinces in Iran, making it more difficult to take them out. But I asked you this, and I'm going to ask you again, is there a province or two provinces, you talk about the activity of the resistance, of the MEK, are there provinces that are weaker, easier targets? Because in my estimation, if you can get one province to fall or two provinces to fall and put up the real Iranian flag with the lion, that it would show real progress. What are your thoughts?
You're absolutely correct. In fact, Steve, during the 3-week-long uprising, the resistance units, naturally working hand in hand with the people, they managed to liberate the city of Abdanan, which is in the province of Ilam. If I'm not mistaken, I think it had a population of, 27 or 30,000 people. They liberated the city and they forced the security forces to flee, and they held the city for 2 days. They replicated that in another city in that area. Of course, the regime sent thousands of reinforcements from other provinces. They also brought the Iraqi Hashd al-Shabi, the popular mobilization force, to attack them, because a lot of the local, if you will, police officers, because they are, just like their families, and so they're not about to shoot at them. So they brought these Iraqi mercenaries and Hezbollah to suppress it. So the potential is there. If I were to venture a guess, the most realistic options would be some of the provinces in the Western Iran, which of course have a history with the MEK, because when the MEK launched a massive operation against Iran from Iraq back in 1988, they penetrated Iranian territory with about 100 miles, went to the gates of Kermanshah, which, by the way, is my hometown. So yes, that potential exists. It's just we have to wait and see where this bombing campaign is going, because as I'm sure you appreciate, this is a very active war zone.
Yes.
So it's very difficult to move about. You never know where bombs are going to fall. So, but I think the situation is good. I think our network is quite resilient. You are well organized, and the weaker.
Let me ask you this. Before. I've only got about a minute left, Ali. 4 days in, at least 11 ships have been sunk. The Gulf of Oman has been cleared of Iranian ships. At least one submarine that was targeting the USS Abraham Lincoln, our carrier, was apparently sunk by the United States and coalition forces. Are you optimistic today? That's my last question for you. Are you optimistic that this will result in new leadership in your country?
Absolutely. I think it will. After all, we're very determined. You said it at the start of the program. We've been fighting for 47 years. We've paid a heavy price. I think the day of Iran's liberation is coming, but of course through the organized, structured resistance, and for a democratic future, not the relics of the past, not monarchy, they're not going to exchange a turban with a crown. That's not going to happen. Iran has 35% of its minorities, and of course the Saddam the Shah has rejected them. So it's going to come. It's just a matter of time and organization, and again, as has been the case in the past 47 years, willingness to pay the price.
Ali, you paid a hell of a price, that's for sure. Let's hope that we have a new day dawning in Iran. We'll talk again soon, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Sure, and how lovely it would be to speak to you from a free Iran.
Oh, I expect to see you in Tehran. You and I will shake hands there. All right, my friend. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, there's the latest from the parliament in exile from Iran. They're praying, they're hopeful. We'll see what happens, and I'll be right back.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer. In the moments I'm afraid, there's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky. When I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience anytime. So just go to angel.com/Rav and join there.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Here's a development and some other headlines as we try to keep you up to date on everything else that's going on in this very busy world that we live in. Activists, pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment activist groups have challenged now the National Firearms Act of 1934, saying keeping records, keeping lists of people that own firearms or different components, including suppressors, are, well, it's an illegal act, they believe. Knox Williams is the president of the American Suppressor Association Foundation. He joins me now. Knox, nice to see you this morning.
Steve, it's a pleasure, sir.
So tell me about this. The National Firearms Act of 1934 banned a whole pile of things. Tommy guns, for example. That was the height of the mafia wars in places like Chicago, and that's why it got through under Franklin Roosevelt's administration. But you're challenging several items in the NFA. Tell me about it.
Yes, sir. So the National Firearms Act, you're absolutely right, was passed in 1934 in response to Prohibition-era gangland violence. At least that was the justification for FDR and his Attorney General Homer Cummings. They did want to ban as many types of firearms as they possibly could. The original draft of the NFA actually included handguns and revolvers and any of those types of firearms as well. Thankfully, those were removed from it. It also thankfully didn't actually ban anything because they knew that they didn't have the constitutional authority to do so. So they set up a taxing and registration regime instead because they understood that that would stand up to muster, at least at the time. And since the One Big Beautiful Bill Act was enacted, the tax on these items, on suppressors and short-barreled firearms, which fell under the blanket of the National Firearms Act, has been eliminated. And our lawsuit contends that without the tax, the registration regime is now unconstitutional.
All right, so a registration scheme unconstitutional. I need to ask you about a case that was argued yesterday in front of the Supreme Court. A man told that he had no constitutional right to carry or to have firearms because he smoked marijuana. 40 states have legalized marijuana in this country. Of course, it's illegal federally. Seems like another end run. I didn't realize if you got high, you lost your constitutional rights. I don't partake, but obviously millions of people do. You must have heard the argument yesterday. Lay it out for the folks that missed this one, because this kind of caught me by surprise. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you're talking about the mini case. That's going to be a very interesting one to track in terms of what constitutes a prohibited person when it comes to unlawful substance use. I really honestly don't know how to read the tea leaves on this one. I unfortunately wasn't able to listen to the oral arguments, but plan on reading those this morning. But it comes down to a central question of, whether it's marijuana or any other type of illicit substance as defined by the government. How does that impact your Second Amendment rights and your ability to own and possess firearms? It is going to be quite interesting to see where they fall on that. I don't know that anybody is really sure where they're going to land.
Yeah, the question is, does a federal law that prohibits the possession of firearms by a person who is an unlawful user and addicted to any controlled substance? What I found interesting in the oral arguments was Neil Gorsuch, Justice of the Supreme Court, talking about how much our forefathers consumed alcohol. If you did 8 shots of whiskey a day, if you didn't hear the oral arguments, I'll share. If you did 8 shots of whiskey a day, you were not a drunkard, because a drunkard could not have a gun, according to the founders, the way they looked at it. You had to drink 16 shots of whiskey a day to qualify. Good Lord, Knox. Those folks had a bit of a drinking problem, it seems to me. But let's look. If you get high, you don't forfeit your constitutional rights. That's the way I see it. It's pretty cut and dried to me. You don't lose your right to free speech. You don't lose your right to peacefully assemble or whatever. And the guy in question here was not a daily user of marijuana. He used it every other day, they figured, and they tried to take away his constitutional rights. But you're right, very mixed signals from the Supreme Court. But overall, over the last 20 years, the Supreme Court has sided time and again with the right to keep and bear arms. I would hope they stay on that path. And you say?
No, I agree. I mean, look, you hit the nail on the head. The Second Amendment affirms the right of the people, same as the First, same as the Fourth, and I don't believe that you should lose those rights based on certain circumstances. In this one, the circumstances around the defendant in this case are pretty bad. By all accounts, it doesn't seem like he was necessarily a good guy, but nonetheless, it's why we have the Supreme Court, to be able to interpret the laws and tell us whether or not they stand up to constitutional muster.
And concerning your lawsuit against the National Firearms Act of 1934, where are we? Where was the lawsuit filed, and what is, these things are time consuming. There is a process, I tell people. If you expect it to be quick, you're kidding yourself. Where are you in the procedure?
Yes, sir, you're absolutely right. We measure timelines in terms of years, not weeks and months. Unfortunately, these things do move at a glacial pace. So we filed the lawsuit in the Eastern District of Kentucky, and it's actually one of 3 lawsuits that the American Suppressor Association is supporting. We've got one lawsuit that we filed, Brown v. ATF, in Eastern District of Missouri. We've got one in Texas, and we've got now this 3rd lawsuit in Kentucky that we are supportive of, all with the same goal of rendering the inclusion of suppressors and short-barreled firearms in the National Firearms Act unconstitutional.
Knox, really appreciate you being here. These are important cases that impact Americans, 350 million of us. So I appreciate you stopping in and sharing that with us. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Knox Williams, President, American Suppressor Association Foundation. And there you have it. So what do you think? Send me an email on this one. If you smoke marijuana, should you lose your constitutional rights? That's my question to you. Send me an email at stevegruber.com. Skip the boring pills. Trim Rocks is the fun, fizzy way to support your metabolism and energy naturally. Just pop it in your mouth and let it work. It features guayusa and green coffee beans for a gentle plant-based energy lift and camu for immune support. Trim Rocks supports fat burning, blood sugar balance, and steady energy. Purple tea extract helps with weight management and helps stabilize blood sugar naturally. It's from my friends at Victory Nutrition International. It's nutrition that gets in. VNI.life/Gruber. You'll get a 20% discount. If you subscribe, you'll save even more. Become a subscriber. They only have 6 products. These are the best vitamins and supplements that we have found anywhere. VNI.life/Gruber. Save 20%. And if you get that subscription, a better discount and free shipping forever. I'll take a break and be right back with more Bill Clinton.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer, in the moments I'm afraid. There's a whisper in the wind, and a story in the sky, when I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated musical that depicts David as a spirited boy who fought lions, giants, and even betrayal, depicting how one boy's faith could lead him to be king of Israel. David will be released in theaters just in time for Christmas on December 19th, but your family can get a head start by watching the prequel to the film, Young David, which is streaming exclusively right now on Angel. It's perfect for the entire family and has memorable music. So once you join the Angel Guild, you can start watching Young David right now and prepare the fam for the David film in theaters in December. And by joining the Guild, you'll guarantee 2 free tickets to see it. And it's a great value. Let's be honest, going to the movies isn't all that cheap. But if you're a member of the Angel Guild, not only do you get those 2 free tickets to David, but you'll now have access to every single film or TV series on Angel at your convenience anytime. So just go to angel.com/Rav and join there.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
All right, here was the question asked by Nancy Mace yesterday. Well, 2 days ago. The videotape was released yesterday, so we got to see it. Congresswoman Nancy Mace asking Bill Clinton, why would they write in emails that were discovered in the Epstein files that you like them young, Mr. President? Boy, was it awkward. Listen to this.
Witnesses who testified in the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion? You're asking him to think about why Mr. Epstein would say something about him?
Why would Epstein say that about
she's asking you to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
Clinton likes them young, referring to girls.
First of all, that's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes.
Okay.
At my age, anybody younger than I am.
Did you know Jeffrey Epstein instructed a witness to deny you were ever on his island?
He didn't have to, since I was never there.
Did you ever travel to Zorro Ranch?
Is that the one in New Mexico?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Have you ever flown on anyone else's private jet 26 times or more for overseas trips?
I have flown as many miles on other jets, but never with as many stops.
How many other people's planes have you used, like Epstein 26 times or miles, etc.?
I don't know.
I did not have sexual relations with 127 young girls. Boy, was that awkward. The other thing that's quite obvious there, for anybody watching the video, his hand is shaking. I mean, he has some health issues that have been compiling, I suppose. Bill Clinton, not a good look. Is an intern young? Yes. Oh, I thought you didn't like him young. Busted. That's what I would say. Follow me on all the social media platforms. Make sure you go to YouTube. Check out the new edition of Forgotten America on private equity. It is quite the listen. I'll take a break and be back. It's the Steve Gruber Show on a Tuesday. Nice to see you.
Welcome to Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Your quick look at the powerful stories of faith and freedom, inspiring audiences across the nation. Angel Studios presents.
I'm Bo Davidson with this Real America's Voice, Real Minute. Most people know the biblical story of David, the shepherd boy who fought Goliath and became king. Well, Angel Studios has created a new animated film called David that tells the story of Israel's greatest king.
There's a light I've always followed when I'm looking for the way, when I'm searching for the answer. In the moments I'm afraid, there's a whisper in the wind and a story in the sky. When I'm looking for a lantern to illuminate the night. If you want the secret of freedom and feeling alive, you gotta follow the light. Follow the light.
For those who love great animated classics like The Lion King and Prince of Egypt, David is an awe-inspiring animated